Hey everyone, welcome to Leggari Products. In this video, you'll see the step-by-step process on how to coat over your existing floor. We used a black base and white highlights. Watch how easy it is to get this look.
Okay, we're going to be installing kit number 9. This is a black base with white highlights. So we're going to use a squeegee technique on this, and I'm going to show you how to coat 135 square feet, which is basically one 3-gallon kit. So we're going to do a 3-gallon kit for our base coat, and then our highlights for that section are going to be 3 quarts. So again, everything's taped off, prepped, primed. So this is just how to coat a full section to get that look. So the first thing we want to do with our base coat, our 3-gallon kit, is we want to coat the perimeter first and then begin to fill it in with the squeegee. The squeegee is going to do 99% of the work, and then we're going to cross roll the floor so that it can be self-leveled at that point. So that it can be leveled, because it already does self-level. But remember, you want to put tape on the walls on each side of the room where your kit should stop. You want to be very methodical about this. It makes it go so much smoother. So if you're just coating a small room like this, you can just coat the whole room. But if you want to move into larger sections, then you really need to know where to stop with this base coat. You don't want to just be pouring it into the next section. You want to just keep it in the section that you're working with. So we're going to take our base coat, and again, we're walking on spikes, so you want to walk very sure-footed, very flat-footed. It can be slippery. And I want to pour about a foot to a foot and a half off the perimeter of the section that I'm coating. We're going to use the squeegee, and when you're using the squeegee, you don't want to push and move all the material as hard as you can, because then you're going to move the entire pile. So you want to really put it down at an angle and apply a little bit of pressure and allow the squeegee to do most of the work. And you can really control that pile depending on which way you move the head, like that. Once you have the perimeter pretty much coated, just begin to move that pile into the middle. And I'm just applying a little bit of pressure at a very low angle so I can begin to move this pile. Now you want to look across the floor, and it's kind of difficult because the primer's black when the base coat of the floor is black. But you want to try to see if you can find any really shallow parts of the floor and just move any excess epoxy in that direction. Like I notice I have a pretty big pile going across the floor. I could probably move some of that around a little bit. But once you've pretty much leveled out the floor or spread out the floor, you know, about 99% of the way with the squeegee, we're going to set that down. Actually, we'll set it over here on our wood that we're going to step out on. And then we're just going to use, I'm going to use a 9-inch roller. I recommend that you use an 18-inch roller. It'll make a quick work of this floor. So this is 3/8-inch nap. Again, 3/8-inch nap, and I've de-shed the roller. So I pulled out some Scotch tape and I rolled the roller on it to remove any loose hairs that we have. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a thick spot on the floor, and I'm just going to soak up that roller. That's the first thing we want to do, is soak up that roller. And now I'm going to roll the floor this way and then this way. And I'm taking my time because I'm explaining the process. You're going to do all of this much faster, especially with an 18-inch roller. So the first thing you want to do is start in the middle, and you want to, I'm not applying any pressure, I'm just going to let the roller do all the work. Notice I'm not pushing down on it at all. I'm just pushing it to the edge, but as it begins to pick up material and push the material, before I hit my wall or my edge, I'm going to lift up the roller and pull that back. And then I'm going to move over just a couple inches. So again, I'm not pushing down on the roller. It is pushing material, and I'm going to lift up before I hit the end, and I'm going to pull it back towards the middle. Because there's no point in really pushing piles of material into the wall. There's just no point. And what this roller is doing in this process, see, it can be slippery, so you got to be careful, walk real slow. What this roller is doing is it's actually picking up epoxy on the thicker parts of the floor, and it's kind of dropping it off on the thinner parts of the floor. The roller is literally doing almost all the work right now. Before I get to the end, I'm just pulling it back towards the middle. I'm just rolling this edge where I didn't quite get the squeegee. I'm rolling this edge. So now I've leveled out that half of the floor going that way, and I'm just gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna move across the floor this way. And notice it's beginning to push some material across that floor. That's because those are just thick spots on the floor. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it in a similar manner, but I'm going to roll it this way. And this is much faster because it's a shorter area. So I'm going to start in the middle, push towards the end. When I get to the end, I'm going to lift it up. It's that simple. I'm never pushing the product all the way to the wall or the perimeter. Notice how fast this is, and it's obviously going to be almost twice as fast when you have an 18-inch roller. This ensures that by the time you're done rolling this floor and cross-rolling this floor, that the epoxy is almost perfectly distributed across this floor. So when we do our effects in the floor, we know that it'll self-level back to being perfectly flat like a piece of glass. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 3 quarts of white. It's a lot of white, but we want to have a pretty cool looking black and white design on this floor. But I know that I only have this much epoxy, which is still a lot, but I want it evenly distributed through this floor. So I'm not gonna just dump it all out over here. The first thing I'm gonna do is move across this floor fairly methodically and just try to get a lot of color going everywhere. Because the last thing you wanna do is get to the other edge of the area you wanna coat and then run out of epoxy. The other thing I want to do is I want to get it right to that edge because I want the design to look like it goes into the wall or under the wall. You don't just want the design to just be in the middle and you have this black perimeter around everything. I mean, unless that's the look you're going for. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the squeegee again, and I'm just going to move from the farthest point to where I want to exit. If you're just doing one floor like this, then you can just exit to your mixing station on a piece of wood so that you can step on the wood with your cleats on. If I was going to continue to do this design across my house or across a big room, I would exit into the next section. So that's where I'm exiting. So I'm going to start squeegeeing this design out from this side. And what I'm going to do is I just want to move across the floor in a random motion and just kind of mix this all together with the squeegee. And again, I'm not pushing hard and moving all the epoxy. I'm trying to really scoot the material across the surface, pick up some white, move it into the black, move it back and forth a little bit. And I'm trying to be as random as I can with it. If you push down really hard, it's very smooth. If you don't push down as hard, it kind of does a chatter look. So it just kind of depends on what you're going for. And tomorrow, this floor is gonna look completely different than it does now. One thing I will say, the more you hit it, and the more times you go across this floor, the more it'll turn the black and white floor into just a gray floor. So because we're not really going for a gray floor, we do want a lot of black and white spots. We're gonna try not to hit it too many times. We're gonna try to leave some concentration of white going into this floor. Now you can hit this floor as many different ways, as many times as you want, but one way we're going to finish up with this design is we're actually going to spray it with 91% isopropyl alcohol. And you want not huge drops, and you don't want it to be a mist, because a mist won't do much to it. You want it to be kind of in between a little bit, maybe leaning towards bigger drops. And again, we're gonna walk back across, start where we started the floor, and work our way out and try to create a little bit more of a marbling, a little more depth, and get what's called cells going in this thing. So one thing about these floors is you want to keep an eye out for like little divots where if you spray too much alcohol, it'll actually go down all the way to the primer. And even though you can't see it necessarily because the floor is so busy, you could notice it in the light. So if it happens to pit all the way to the primer because maybe you sprayed too much alcohol out there, you can just dab that hole with a glove, with your finger in a glove, and it'll begin to fill in.